This is the rhythm of change. This is the sound of redemption. This is the way that we bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. Igniting the fire within you. Exalting the melody of freedom. These are the things that will bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. So gather the faithful. Tell everyone to stand and shout loud. Shout loud. Shout loud. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Down, down, down.
Let me tell you, it's in the air. Joy is in the air. Love is in the air. Can you feel it? What it feel like? Freedom. What it feel like? Don't sleep on it, brother. You might get left, sister. Can you feel it? What it feel like? Freedom. What it feel like? Justice. No need to be counted, cause I am down. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. Down for the end of racism, for the end of bigotry, cause I am down. For the end of misogyny, that's right. For all the isms out there, just down, down, down. Let's bring it down. Rise up, people. No more foolishness, and let's bring it way down.
Riding the river of change into the cries of contrition. This is the way that we bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. We are the children of Eden, dancing and celebrating freedom. We are the ones that must bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. So gather the faithful. Tell everyone to stand and shout loud. Shout loud. Shout loud. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. We've got to bring it down. Down. Stand up and shout. Stand up and shout. Rise together.
Accountability starts now. The Eric Dawson Radio Show.
Yeah. Rise up. Stand up, shout it loud.
If you are not prepared to come to that table and to represent that voice, don't come. Because we don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't need queers that don't want to be a queer voice. And if you're worried about being marginalized and stereotyped, please don't even show up.
Wednesday. I'm here with co-host Vincent Squire. He's down in South Jersey. What's the weather down there? Is it?
It's hot.
It's hot.
It's humid. Yeah. It's depressing.
I went. It's oppressive, Vincent. I went outside.
Yeah.
I'm Farmer John now, Vincent. Well, Farmer Eric actually, but
Farmer Eric.
before I do the show, I have my overalls on. I head outside, man, and just tend to my garden. It's going along really well. But yeah, it is hot. I need one of those big straw hats. And then, and you know, hey Vincent, and when I have my overalls on, I always have one strap down. You know, very stereotypical. But I do have overalls, and I do wear them. You know, I want to live that entire experience. So I'm doing it now. I just got to get my hat, and then I'll be set. But how you doing today, man?
I just got that image of you with the overalls, with the one strap and the straw hat burning in my mind.
Hey Vincent, with my long rifle hanging over my shoulder, pacing back and forth on the sidewalk in front of my house, Vincent.
With a piece of straw hanging out the side of your mouth.
I wish a mother.
I wish a mother.
That's the flag that's hanging out in front of my house. I wish a mother. Yeah. Anyway.
So funny. Yeah. Okay. Let's start the show. I'm all right now, brother. How you doing?
Paul. Oh man. Listen, man. You know what's really funny? All morning, well, you know, I was up, I was out in the kitchen, I was prepping for today, and you know, I haven't spoken much of the business because folks inbox me and stuff, and some of these are the same people who watch the show, but I haven't really used this show to talk a lot about it, but because we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship, in that context, I will talk about it. I got an order last night, man. You know, these guys at, you know, some of these restaurants, they don't do good inventory counts. At first I'm thinking like, you know, it's not that serious. Like, I'll be there. I mean, certainly I want to get there as early as I can so that they can sell as much as they can so that they can reorder, right? So that's what I want to do. But the panic in the voice, I didn't understand until, Vincent, one day I went to drop off the product and I walked in and we got these real fancy shirts. They're over there somewhere. We got these real fancy shirts now that say Grandma Emma's on the back and has the peach on the left chest. And we got these coolers that have the logo on them and everything. So, you know, we're like really in business. And so I walked in and it was a bunch of people in there, and they shouldn't have been in there because there should only be 5 people in a restaurant or in a store at a time. But it was more than 5 in there. I went in to drop off the cobbler, and people literally, Vincent, were almost climbing over each other because they had been waiting for me to get there. And so I watched them, like, you know, raising their hands and screaming, 2 of those are mine. I ordered 3 of those. So then I looked at the brother who placed the order, and I understood the panic. But I told him, I said, look, man, you got to do a better job. And so this is part of entrepreneurship too, right? We'll talk about customer service. We'll talk about logistics. We'll talk about all those kinds of things. But one of the things that I told him he has to get better at is planning his inventory, right?
Of course.
You know,
people are lined up for these cobblers like it's good crack.
Hey, listen, man. The manager of the store, he said, brother, I don't know what you put in here, man, but people just keep coming back for more. But there's no crack in there. And here's the thing. It is vegan, right? But we haven't promoted it as being vegan because people who are not into veganism might frown upon it, thinking that somehow we sacrifice flavor, right? So I literally have a whole, but and it's not healthy vegan because there's sugar in there. There's refined sugar. There's flour. We don't use unbleached flour, but we do use flour, and then there's refined sugar in there. So there some folks in the vegan community who would look down their nose at us, right, because they want us to use almond flour, and they want us to use agave or monk fruit sweetener instead of sugar. So anyway, yeah. So that is the deal with this cobbler. There's no crack in it, but there's some good stuff in there, and it tastes really good. So in the spirit of entrepreneurship, because we were talking yesterday with Deidre about redefining yourself, right? And how do you go about doing that? And in some instances, it's by saying, you know what, I'm not gonna go back into a workplace. I'm not gonna go back into a traditional job. I'm gonna take the skills that I have, turn inward, and try to build something for myself. And that's kind of what I've been doing. I've talked on the show about my background, in the advertising industry, in the marketing space, as a creative director and art director, all those other kinds of things, and helping companies in really big ways make huge profits. And what I decided to do is exactly that, right? I decided to take a product and market it and build out a business. But Vincent, let's talk about because people, I mean, when you say entrepreneur, right? There's like this big umbrella, and let's kind of define what that really is before we move further into this conversation, because to me there's a difference between hustling and being an entrepreneur.
Yes, but the difference is only slight. But Eric, if I could back it up a little bit.
Yep.
Let's see. Now, I got out of prison, of course, for a white-collar crime, and decided that, hey, look, served my time, I got my degrees, it shouldn't be that hard for me getting a job. Okay, it was that hard for me getting a job. What I found out is this: when it's hard for you to get a job, that is God telling you that you need to be working for yourself. And that's exactly what I did.
Mm-hmm.
And haven't looked back. So, but what I've learned in prison is the same thing that I've learned in business. And talking with some people who are arrested for crimes, especially as they said, the hustle trade or selling drugs. The difference is this: the definition in Webster of entrepreneur is one who organizes and gains a reputable company for profit or gain. Now, Webster defines hustler as one who organizes, manages a questionable enterprise for profit or gain. So, it's the same thing, except for one is legal. So, what you find is that people in the hustle game have developed the same skills that it takes to run a business. In fact, in talking to them, some of them use the same techniques that you would find in Fortune 500 companies. You find people with skills of being a barber who also have acquired great skills of customer service and sales. Your I guess life experience in the hustle trade is a huge catapult for your transferring the hustle to a legitimate enterprise or business, or becoming an entrepreneur.
See, and then maybe I'm just adding my own little spice to what I see an entrepreneur as. And so when I see the word organize, even though organize is in hustler, right? In hustle, because you can have organized crime, right? When I look at, when I think about entrepreneurs, I think about not having some loose kind of, money making venture, right? But having a more refined, or working toward a more refined, systematic approach to earning money, right? For instance, I know a guy who is he does pest control, right? So he went and got some low-level licenses. He doesn't have whatever the license is that would allow him to be out on his own doing pest control. So he has to work under under the business owner who has that license or that certification. Anyway, what he does is he goes around and he tries to get, when I'm talking to him, he says, yeah, I'm trying to get a squirrel job, right? So somebody who's complaining that they got squirrels in the attic, or a squirrel set up a nest in in the gutter or whatever, right? So he wants to go do those little jobs, and he gets, $100 here, $75 there. Sometimes they negotiate him down to $50. If he needs the 50 to pay his phone bill, then he'll do it like that. And so it's not an illegal thing that he's doing. It's not illegitimate. But I wouldn't call him an entrepreneur. I would call him a hustler, right? Because it's not organized. He could take it and organize it, because it is a skill that is required, especially in urban communities, right? You need pest control people. And so I've had the conversation with him multiple times, Vincent, where I said to him, look, man, what does it cost you to go and get that license? And I think it's under $200. So why don't you just go get that license? Right?
$200 in a 20-minute test.
Right. So go get the license, and then after you get the license, let's take this call. I don't know if this is a call for Grandma Emma's or for. Hold on. Hello. Hello.
Good morning, family. How you doing, Eric?
Hey. Good morning. So we have Andre Little on the line. Welcome to the show. So, Andre, we're talking right now about and I think that this is right up your alley, right? Entrepreneurship. And what I was referring to was the difference, or at least the way that I see it, even though hustle and an entrepreneur both have the word organize in them in the dictionary, I see a person who is hustling as being less organized than the person that I would look and say that person over there is an entrepreneur. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, the thing is that
Hello?
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with you.
Right. And so I was.
Well, see, I agree with you, with the exception. It's not the actual organization of the business that defines hustler and entrepreneur. It's the organization of the brand and the actual bona fidelity or bona fide, having it registered is the huge difference.
Well, but I'm saying, so it's for me again. The organization is right. And having it registered, and having all of your certifications, and having a bank account, and doing business.
Right.
But I think that you can hustle and not be in the streets, right? Not be doing anything illegal, but it's not structured. I guess that is the word I want to use, structured. Right? So one to me is structured. When I think of somebody being an entrepreneur, or if I'm guiding somebody toward entrepreneurship, then I am talking to them about structure, right? And I'm saying, hey, listen, you want to do these kinds of things, much like Andre said regarding carrot bars, that in doing this, in setting it up this way, you can create some tax shelters for yourself. You can do some other kinds of things. And so you should be looking to structure in such a way to be able to take advantage of all of the things that may be available to you, that if you're just hustling, you can't take advantage of. Yeah, you got the $50 here, you did the job over there. So you got a guy, I see a guy walking down the street every day with a lawnmower, right? Literally just pulling a lawnmower, and he's got some stuff on top of it, and it's all tied with a bungee cord, and he's trying to go and cut lawns. You could say he's an entrepreneur. I would say he's a hustler. Now, it's not illegal what he's doing, but I say he's a hustler because it's not organized. Well, maybe it is organized to some extent, but it's not.
Well,
Go ahead.
it's not registered or has the level of bona fidelity. That's the whole issue. Now, it's legal under the free market system because it's actual legal service. He's not doing anything illegal or breaking any laws with the service. The difference is that he is just not a registered or noted business with the municipalities with his service.
What were we going to say, Andre?
I would just say that the word hustler comes from a negative connotation for somebody who does something illegal on the street. That's really where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, it doesn't necessarily. And our I guess definition over the years have changed to where it's just someone who doesn't have a legal LLC, an office, all of the things that we come to believe as a structured business. They're now hustling. They're hustlers, because that's where the word came from. That's really what we
Correct.
we derived this from.
Correct. So in that structuring, and in fact in structuring, there are multiple forms. If we're talking about entrepreneurship, there are multiple forms of actually becoming structured. There is sole proprietor, partnership, LLC, DBA, incorporated, and nonprofit incorporation. Those are the major avenues that people tend to go in.
All right.
Now,
Go ahead.
Now, the most important thing is that when you register, one of the easiest things to do is a DBA, which basically means you go to your municipality, you say, hey, I'm so-and-so doing business, or DBA means doing business as, and the fictitious name, which is therefore registered, and you start, in which you basically pay a small fee for whatever licensing that they would need in that particular part. But as Deidre said yesterday, and some of us redefining ourselves or opening our businesses, some of them you just can't wing it and go on the fly. Some of them, like you said, the guy with the pest control, it takes certification. So
right.
after obtaining that, then you are now legitimate enough to do it. But what people tend to not understand between hustler and registered business or entrepreneur is that hustler always get paid under the pay grade.
Well,
What do you mean pay grade? Under the pay grade? What do you mean?
Well, hustlers get paid let's look at this. The guy who cuts your lawn for, $20 because he's a hustler. He's not registered. Now, the guy who the guy who has a lawn service gets $45 because he's a registered business.
Right. I agree with that.
Well, there's some people. And here's the other part of being a hustler that we haven't mentioned, right? It's implied but not mentioned, that they don't pay no taxes. They're not paying taxes and overhead the way a legitimate business or a filed business would do. But there are some hustlers or hustlers businesses on the street that make every bit, or if not more, than some people who work for prestigious jobs.
And
hustle on the street.
Yeah, and that part's very true. And the other thing that you don't understand, that a lot of people don't understand in terms of being a hustler, is that hustlers don't have insurance, and which means that they have that level of liability in the event that something goes wrong.
Structure. It is to
Correct.
not leave yourself exposed. It is to create redundancies within your organization. So if you're the guy who's mowing the lawn, but you get sick, then the lawn doesn't get mowed, right, for your customer. and you have nobody else to mow it. So you don't have a structure in place to be able to make sure that that person's lawn gets mowed. And so though you may be making, under the table money and you're not paying taxes, and you may even do a great job and be able to charge close to what the person who does have a structured business can charge, because you haven't created the real structure, you're always leaving yourself open, right, to all kinds of things.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So I encourage, and in fact, and I did this myself when I created this cobbler business, right? I just went on the government's website and I created it. It cost me just the filing fees. I didn't have to pay anything else, and now I got a legitimate business that's recognized. I got a tax ID number, right? I got a bank account. I got everything that I need to be able to operate. And I can now begin to take advantage of some other things. And so one of the things that you were saying, Vincent, earlier about the hustler being underpaid. So now places that I go and I'm trying to sell my wares, if you will, they're asking me for certain things. Do you have a tax ID, right? Are you a registered business? Do you have insurance? Because if I don't, I'm locked out of those opportunities. And so you can be a hustler, but you will limit the opportunities that you have, as opposed to being a well-structured entrepreneur, being able to take advantage of not only the hustle jobs, right? Because you don't want to leave those on the table if they're available, if you can scoop those up. But you position your business or yourself to be able to take advantage of the other things that the hustler can't take advantage of.
Right. Exactly. And that's the whole point. And basically turning your hustle into a legitimate business. And then after we discuss, after that, you have things like tax sheltering. And as we talked about a few weeks ago, that leaves you open for a lot of things, like having a home office, for example, which means that you can write off in terms of your taxes a great deal. Your house, your gas, your buying paper, toilet tissue, going to restaurants, all of that is included in your actual incorporation or your ability to perform goods and services. So a lot of people go into the hustle game because they don't want to be noticed, because they don't want to pay taxes. But sometimes what that can be is a huge hindrance for you. Look at what's going on right now with our economic stimulus.
Yes, those people who are hustlers can't take advantage of these small business loans. It is opportunities, right?
Exactly. Yes, that's right. $562 billion waiting for you, but you can't take advantage of it because you wanted to be smarter than the average bear and not be recognized, notified, or even have the ability where someone says that you have to pay 3% tax. Screwed yourself.
Diane, go.
Good morning. I have a question. I came in on this late, but I just want to know if this is what I heard. Are you saying because you're considered a hustler or you're not a registered business for that state that you're not a business?
No. What all I was defining and saying about being a hustler, and I'm not, well, I don't even know. Maybe I am being critical only in that you leave things on the table. Right? And so I want to be clear in trying to guide people to register their businesses, to get certifications, to get all those things so that they could take advantage of every opportunity. And what I'm trying to have business opportunities on the table simply because they don't have the structure.
I have to disagree because there's businesses that have the structure, have stuff in place, and they still don't get the opportunities. So I don't think that's necessarily a way of putting up a wall to say they can't expand their business or they're left out of opportunities because of that.
Well,
It's determined on the type of business for one, and how far you want the business to grow.
Right. So I'll give you an
Correct.
example. So there was during all of this changing out lead service lines, right? There was what is it, $100 million or whatever the total amount that was out there. And some of the companies that are doing the work were looking for minority people, right? Because these cities said they wanted minority businesses working on these things. So you had, then now the minority business, they didn't have the equipment, one, so they had to come in as subcontractors. But even coming in as subcontractors, the company that held the account or the contract required certain certifications. Now, these guys, they come in your house, they change out your plumbing, they do a great job, right? But they didn't have the certifications, they didn't have everything they needed to be able to take advantage of these opportunities. And I'll tell you personally that 2 minority companies who were hired by these larger non-minority companies because they needed to have the shelter of being minority, they would come at me saying, "Hey, Eric, do you know anybody?" Because everybody that comes to us, I mean, maybe they could do the job, but they just don't have the paperwork. And so literally left a lot of money on the table, a lot of opportunity.
Well, why do you think that is? Why do you think businesses, whether they're minority or non-minority, because there's a lot of immigrant businesses, jump through all of these hoops for potential to get business, not a guarantee, but a potential to get business. Not to mention that some of these certifications, these women, they only last a few years. And every couple of years you got to renew and you got to pay more money. And sometimes it's just not worth it.
Well,
so what do you think they don't?
Well, because of what you said, some people feel like, or some people have a defeatist mentality because they feel like, okay, this may not work, and I've now invested $120 in registration that I could be using for something else. Right. Another group of people don't want to build a business. What they want to do is start an organization so that they can have a job. So they're not running a company. They're just basically self-employing them. They're just making themselves self-employed. So they don't want to go through that. But there's the people who want to actually work and create something so that they can have generational wealth. I've built this so that I can pass it down to my children or give them the opportunity.
Those are the ones who are doing the certifications. We're talking about the people who are not doing the certifications.
So Andre, let me
answer your question in terms of the immigrants. A lot of immigrants are not certified because they are afraid of the government.
Right.
And because we talk with a lot of Korean and Asian people, and when they did a sweep in Pennsauken, they found that 60% of them, have been there for years, yet not a registered business. So they had to now go through the process of being registered.
And let's be realistic. The process of being a registered business is only the process of paying taxes and the process of paying a fee to the state. You don't get anything from it from being registered in the state of New Jersey.
Well,
all you get is a piece of paper that says I'm registered, and you get more money.
Right, you get a piece of paper that says that you're registered, but you also get the opportunity to itemize and deduct.
But that's because you're already paying taxes, because you're paying the tax system. But for people who don't want to pay into this tax system, that is ridiculous, trying to survive, I can understand why they don't get registered, because it's not beneficial for their business or for what they want to do.
Yes, and then you look at
it doesn't stop them doing business, and it doesn't stop them giving quality service.
It doesn't stop them from doing business. It doesn't stop them from getting quality service, but it does stop and hinder their growth and progression. Because what happens? Diane, please.
That's not true.
Let me finish. Diane, please.
No.
Please let me finish my statement, and then you can.
No, I am not.
Diane, please.
Because what you're going to do is tell some fabulous lie about how people can't grow without being registered. That is untrue.
Really? Because I've seen people who tried to grow without being registered. After they reached a certain point where they gained notification, they therefore got raided, fined, and confiscated a lot of their stuff, depending on their business, because of the simple fact they didn't register.
You know what's interesting, Vincent? You know a whole lot of people that do a whole lot of stuff. it's very interesting that you know all these answers.
So Andre, in the space that you're in, you're listening to this conversation. Look, I am not being critical, right? Because one of the things that you did say, Diane, is this: people want different things. So for me, yeah, I want legacy. So I understand that that in order to create that, I have to create a structured business, right? So I can pass that down. If you simply want to employ yourself, you want to be self-employed, and have, like Vincent said, have a job, right? Not have a business, but have a job. But you're your own boss. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. I'm simply saying that on one hand, Diane, you position yourself by having the certifications, by having the structure, you position yourself to be able to take advantage of some things that somebody who is not structured cannot take advantage of. Now, they may not want to take advantage of those things, and I got that. I'm simply saying, in the event that you ever wanted to, right? You put a cap on where you're going to be able to go, where you're going to be able to do business, simply because when you get into certain circles, or when you climb to certain rungs of a ladder, there's certain things that are required, that people up at that level are requiring from you, whether it's insurance, whether it's bonding, whatever it is, they're requiring certain things of you. That's all.
Correct.
I still disagree.
Okay.
Just because a person is not certified does not make their business not legit.
I know
there are
that's
many
not what I'm
businesses
saying.
up and down
I'm not saying that they're not legit.
Union County, Essex County, that are not registered, and people still go in there and get services done.
No,
Diane, we didn't say that it's not legit.
I'm not saying that it's not legit.
No, you didn't say it was legit. You called it hustling.
It's a hustle. Yeah.
That's a disrespect. It's not a hustle.
I mean, it's disrespectful in saying that it's an illegal hustle, or that they're doing anything that's actually.
I appreciate your comment. Thank you.
We're just saying that it's just not officially documented.
Because the white man said you had to get certified and pay them money. Boy, bye.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, not because I don't think because the white man said it, but maybe the white man did say it.
The white man did say it. The white man did say it, and that part is true. But the white man also said that you had to get a license to drive a car, and you see the complications involved when you drive without it. Certain things are just better to do and not fuss about than to actually grumble about and get the repercussions on. It's like insurance. It's better to have insurance and not need it than to need insurance and not have it.
So I'm simply saying this. Whatever works for you, right? However, if you're looking to move your business, and it's a legitimate business, I'm not saying that it's illegitimate, but if you're looking to move in certain kinds of circles, there may be requirements in terms of insurance and bonding, certifications, other kinds of things, some structure, right? A lot of businesses, Diane, or sole proprietorships, they don't have bank accounts, right?
Correct.
And so some people won't do business with them if they don't have a bank account. And so all I'm saying is this: if you want to maximize the potential, then some of those things may be helpful. I'm not suggesting that you listen. Because I say this. Because I want to be clear. Look, I know a guy. He had a business. What was the name of it? What he did was this. He wasn't a licensed plumber, because you didn't have to be a licensed plumber to do this. He would just go and snake drains, right, that were backed up. And in one of my houses, it backed up. And so I called the plumber, and the plumber, because they don't want to do those jobs, they call him. He came, whatever that pipe is at the top of the roof, he put a snake down there. He wasn't even at my house for 10 minutes, and he charged me $200. And then I talked to him afterwards, and yeah, he put 2 kids through college. He doesn't have to be registered. He doesn't have to be anything. So to your point, Diane, and he was making money hand over fist. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't think that what I'm saying necessarily applies to all businesses. I'm not trying to give a broad stroke to say that it applies to all businesses. I simply am saying, though, that depending on what you're trying to do, because some people who start businesses, they're not clear on what it is that they're trying to do. So they don't put together a business plan. They don't put together anything. And then all of a sudden, they've invested time, they've invested money, and then they hit these roadblocks because they're not structured. And so all I'm saying is this, that those things need to be considered. And if you are structured, then you don't have to worry about it. If you're not, then you may have to go and get some additional certifications or get some things in order to be able to take advantage of opportunities. So my advice would be to do it up front so you don't have to worry about it.
See, let me give you an example. My cousin, well, he's actually my uncle, but my grandfather had him a year after I was born. So, but he started a hustle in which it started to grow. So, since he did not have it registered or had the actual necessary documents and certification in it, he started putting, he started realizing that he was making money and couldn't get a bank account. So and so now he's putting his family's life in jeopardy because having all that cash in the house, somebody will actually get someone will actually get the stupid idea that they can therefore, stick a gun to his head or his family's head. So he tried to get a bank account, couldn't get that because it was not registered. Then $750,000 in a bank account, in his personal bank account. Red flags. Because banks report that. So now the IRS came and wanted to talk with him about it. And he said, well, I got it because of doing this business. Now, instead of him, because it grew so much, he went through roughly, a couple $100,000 in fines, fees, penalties, taxes, and all that other stuff, that it wasn't worth the actual $100 and something worth of registration that he needed. That's all we're saying. Now, if you want to do this as a hustle, and that's what you want to do, and that's all you want to do, then God bless you. No one is saying that that's wrong. What we're saying is that there is a level that you, if you want to grow, then there are some actual steps that you need because the white man said it. And if the white man said it, it keeps the white man off your back. That's all.
Okay, so I finished playing my violins, and it's not a hustle, it's a business. Maybe in your opinion, you call it a hustle, so be it.
Hey, one man's this is another man's that. And I'm okay with that. I love you just the same.
Yeah. Again, I'm not, my interest is not being, not to disrespect what anybody does to make a living. It simply is to try to help them maximize or talk to them about maximizing opportunities. That's all. And how can you maximize opportunities in the world of being an entrepreneur?
Mm-hmm.
So the example that I was giving before, Andre, are you still there? Yeah, I don't know if he hung up. But the example that I was giving, Diane, and I don't know if you caught this, was, a gentleman that I know who does pest control. And so he doesn't have these certifications. He doesn't have these things. And so he literally, and he doesn't have a bank account, right? So he goes and he does, so you can call him and he's very good. He does these squirrel and raccoon jobs and does these things, and he collects his $50, $100, $75, whatever, and he's able to pay his bills and things like that. But I sat and talked to him, and I said to him, look, if you did these things, if you just went and got your certification, right, this other certification that you need, you could legitimize yourself, and you could take advantage of of municipal contracts that come up, of some other opportunities that come up, and you could be your own person, right? Not going around, house to house doing it that way.
Are you talking about my brother, Eric?
Huh?
Are you talking about my brother?
I'm not mentioning any names. I'm
okay.
Right. So I don't do that here on the show, right?
Okay.
So the idea is to have the conversation with him about, how to organize it. And so
right.
the difference between and looking at it. So this is real. So the difference between looking at it and going, it could be this. It could be this. I'm not disparaging what you're doing because, you're not doing anything illegal. But the opportunities that are left on the table by not structuring it are the things that I try to mentor and educate about.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because then you can't pass that on. You can pass on the skill. You can pass on the skill set to your next generation, but if you don't properly set it up, they will not be able to scale it, like you said, to take on, government contracts or even a person with multiple properties.
Yeah, and that's all I'm saying. So again, maybe the way that I phrased it, and I rub folks the wrong way. I hope you understand what it is that I'm trying to say about it.
Well, no, Eric, we're in the business of actual giving information, and some do. Okay, so I think we know who the rock hit, but we're not trying to take away anything. We're just giving some point and counterpoint of what's done.
Right, and so you know what, and I think that's it too, right? I'm not trying to take away what you're doing. I'm trying to help add to it. If you want it, maybe you don't, and that's fine. But if we can accentuate or add to something that you're doing to improve upon it, and if you're interested, if you're open to it, then that's kind of the road that I'm trying to go down. And if you're not, look. So for the guy, so this is what I'll say. For the guy, and I've done this in mentoring folks. For the guy who walks up and down the street, who cutting lawns, if I say to him, "Hey, listen, guy, I don't know how your business or your whatever it is structured, but if you did this, that, and the other thing, do you know you could take advantage of these things?" Now he may look and say, "No, I'm not interested." Then God bless him. But if I could pass on a little information to him, right, to say to him, "Hey, you know what? A $25 business card and going down to the county and registering as a sole proprietorship, which is about another $35 to do. When you do that, you know what? All of a sudden you can write off some stuff. Like literally, just doing those two things. You get your business card, you go down to the county, and you register as a sole proprietorship.
And you can also get insurance in case your equipment blows up or is stolen.
Right, and then he may say, or she may say, because I know women who are landscapers too. They may say, "No, I'm not interested. I want this easy breezy life of going and doing that." And then you wish them well. I just want to present them with the additional information that says, "Hey, listen, did you know you could do this?"
That's and just so you know, you can get insurance whether you're a registered business or not.
Yes, you can.
You can.
Hold up, Diane. Say that again.
In certain.
You can get insurance whether you're a registered business or not, because you can use your social security number and get insurance.
Yes, well, that's still called sole proprietorship. When you use your social security number, legally, that's what it is. So you are still a registered business.
You do not have to register to buy insurance.
Hold on, I don't know if this is an actual call or somebody called me personal. Oh, I think it was a personal call. I don't think you have to register. Well, I'm gonna listen to Diane. Diane is the insurance person.
I learned something today.
So
Now,
Diane, let
sir,
me ask you a question. Do you, if I owned a business, or if I had a,
You could have a go-go bar and get insurance under your social security number. I don't need your proof of registration for a business. It's not required.
So
yes.
let me ask you a question though. So I'm not trying to have an argument with her, Vincent, about it. I'm trying to
I'm
understand.
not. No, nobody's arguing.
Right. So-
I agree with that part.
So what I want to ask is this: what is insured?
The business, whatever you want insured, the business that you're doing, it is insured. It's insurable. It's not required by insurance companies to be registered as a business in any state or county. That's no requirement.
True, but in terms of indemnification, when you are using yourself and Social Security card, that therefore makes you the person liable. Correct?
That's why you have insurance, Vincent.
Correct. So if you are liable in the sole proprietorship, the whole thing with corporation and all that stuff is that.
So you're putting two things together because you want to be right.
No, I don't want to be
registered. You do not have to be registered to buy.
Diane, we've already established that point.
But what you're trying to say is that, well, that makes you a sole proprietor. Yes, it makes you a sole proprietor legally if you register to be a sole proprietor. But even if you don't register, you still are qualified and can get insurance.
Yes, I said that. You are still qualified, deeming yourself liable. Right? I did say that, right? I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just trying to bring more light to the point. Okay? Now, you did do that. But I'm also saying on the other end, one of the biggest parts of, and one of the biggest parts of registering is the level of liability. Because after the threshold, in the event that something happens, say if you were insured for, $500,000 in your go-go bar, but something breaks out, which damages are coming to $4.5 million, after the insurance threshold is gone, they come after you personally because you are liable. That's all.
So again, that's incorrect on how you gave that definition. If you're registered, however you're registered is how somebody can legally come against you. It has nothing to do with the insurance. If you're a C Corp, they can only come against the business. They can't come after you personally.
Correct. That's what I said.
That is not what you said.
But if you are an individual and you are making yourself individually liable after the threshold of your insurance, and they're suing for $4 million, and your insurance covers maximum is $500,000, they're coming after you for the difference personally.
So now you're talking about limits. You can get insurance as high as you want it to get. So you can still have insurance as an individual and still be covered. You don't have to bare minimum. You can go highest $10 million if you want it.
Right.
So
again, Vincent, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. So the idea is you can. So here's the deal. You can have insurance. So you don't have to be a registered business. From the insurance queen, you can get insurance if you want to get it that way.
Right. That's if you want to be personally liable.
Whatever. I just, for me, all I'm saying is this. For me, I just want to give people the information and let them know advantages, disadvantages. And I think that there are some, and those advantages and disadvantages, like you said earlier, Diane, depends on what it is you're trying to do, right? So first, understanding what you're trying to do. So you started this thing. What is it? What is your goal with it, right? And then based on what your goal is, to try to inform you to lead you down the proper path. So the guy with the lawnmower, his goal.
My system is down.
I'm sorry.
No problem. So what I'm gonna do?
Hello. Oh.
Hello.
No. So his goal may simply be to just go out and mow a few lawns every Saturday, and so he doesn't need to go register his business. He doesn't need to go get a tax ID. Doesn't need to go do all of those kinds of things. But if he wants to do something beyond that, right, then there may be some other things to talk to him about. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and in terms of lawns and the registration competition actually, and you're right, Eric, it has a lot to do with the limitations and the direction that you're going in terms of growth. On our commercial buildings, our insurance company has to have a registered landscaper, with certification, and have us written down as additionally insured on his policy. But, I mean, it's not a $40 lawn. It's a $3,000 cut lawn.
Right.
So the legitimacy or the bona fides that you would use helps you in terms of growing your business. And as Eric said, if you're in this for generational wealth, then it may pay to do it. But if you're in it to have a job, income, put your kids through college, and live that quiet life, then hey, God bless you. It's all up to you and where you want to go.
So, and there are several different things that, I was talking to you about this. Diane, you still on the phone? Diane?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm here.
So I was talking to Vincent about this before we went on air. A friend of mine called me up literally about 20 minutes before we went live and is contemplating being and so this is in the spirit of being an entrepreneur, right? And so you don't have to be registered to do this. He is contemplating becoming a reseller for Amazon. Now, and he asked me what my thoughts were about it. And do you know anything before I start talking about it, do you know anything about that, Diane?
You said, what was the question?
To become a reseller for Amazon. Right?
Oh, yeah. I know a little bit. There's a process, but it just, go ahead.
So the reseller, to become a reseller, and you do it from your home, right? You register with Amazon, and you can purchase merchandise, and so you kind of have your own little business, right? And I'm not minimizing it by saying your little business, but you have within a larger mall called Amazon, you would have Eric Dawson's stuff or Diane's stuff that she's posting up there. And so if somebody goes and they're looking to buy fans, electric fans for the summer because it's hot, and they go on Amazon and they search for fans, when you see the list of fans that come up, well, those are different stores within Amazon or individuals within Amazon who is selling this merchandise, right? So you can become a reseller. So he was telling me that some very popular guy, Dave something or another, who has made millions of dollars being a reseller and then sold those individual companies, let's call them, because I think that's what they are. I think you have to have an LLC to actually to be a reseller with Amazon. But anyway, he asked me what I thought about him doing this. I was skeptical. I know in the age of COVID-19, people who are looking for ways to earn extra money, right? All money ain't good money, and all roads. What this particular person was looking to do. Well, I'll tell you one of the challenges with being a reseller with Amazon. You know what? It's going to be a hot summer, so I'm going to be in the business of selling fans. So you go and purchase fans, and now you have fans to sell, but nobody is checking you for fans, and now you got to inventory your fans, right? So it's not just jumping on Amazon and selling stuff and people are going to buy it. It's going to go flying off your shelf because there are thousands, if not tens of thousands of other resellers who are competing in that same space. And so you got to know how to do it. Now, when you go on YouTube and they have the pre-roll videos where people are talking about how you can make $1 million being a reseller, it's not that simple. So now here's what some folks are doing, and this is why my friend called me. This particular guy says, hey, listen, I've mastered being a reseller. I've made money. I've created businesses. I've sold those businesses for millions of dollars through Amazon. Come work with me or for me, right? Create your LLC. Let me leverage your money to buy the things that I know based on the algorithms that I that I can read based on the system that I put in place. And then you now sell those things. So now you don't have to speculate whether or not a fan's gonna sell or not. I can tell you based on the algorithms that I'm reading that this item over here is hot. So now go ahead and buy all of those items, and then you're gonna be able to sell them off. So I said to him, I said, that sounds a little fishy to me. But I told him, I said, after the show, I'll be happy to look it up. And during the show, he just texted me and he said that they want $40,000 investment. So guess what we know that is? You just have to be careful. But to be a general reseller, Diane, there's no, I'm not gonna say there's no risk, because there's a huge risk, right? Because you're purchasing merchandise and then you're hoping to be able to sell it. And so you're carrying inventory.
So Eric, you know what? This is a great segue into why Karatbars is such a viable vehicle, is because you're not reselling anything. You're an affiliate that's promoting something that has a 5,000 year history of appreciation. Mm-hmm. So there's no risk, because you can join for free. You can save and don't ever have to worry about what you're saving will lose its value. Karatbars has an 11-year history promoting a 5,000-year-old asset. So that's something that we've been using for money as long as your Bible or your Quran or whatever religion or social construct is, we've been using gold as money. So that's a risk-free way to not only acquire assets that's going to outpace inflation, but you can earn a viable income in 148 countries by being an affiliate and promoting something that's an asset that will never lose its value. That's also a risk-free way from home.
Andre, I have a question. So
Yes, ma'am.
When you become an affiliate, if you bring in other people to sell, or do you also make money?
I'm an affiliate for Amazon. The only difference is, for Amazon or eBay, the product that you're selling, like Eric so eloquently said, it may not be hot. You know what I'm saying? So you invest all this money in an item that may be outdated or because of its properties and its principles.
So Amazon, so Karatbars is no different. Diane, I think you were talking to me about Mary Kay, and what was the other one that was really big?
We talked about Mary Kay, Amway. Avon,
Fashion 220.
What was that the grape juice thing? Oh gosh, I can't remember what the name of it.
Noni juice.
Noni juice. That was
Noni juice.
Right. So the benefit. Oh, you asked me what was the difference?
Oh, and the newest one. The newest one is the NutriBurst with the tea.
Right, NutriBurst, ISO tea. Yeah. All of them. You know the good thing about these products? They work.
Oh, and don't forget Tupperware.
Tupperware, yes. And here it is. They're still making newer versions of what Tupperware represented. I saw some stuff online, but the beauty of and this is what separates Karatbars from all of those other businesses, right? This is the number one thing. People like to say, oh, that's a multi-level marketing company, right? But when they look and they actually learn that how different Karatbars is, there is no limit to the levels that you can earn on. You can have 400,000, 500,000 people that's in your business, and you're earning a percentage on every single one of them. No other network marketing business has that. They stop at 8 levels or 12 levels. That's what separates Karatbars from them.
Well, they stop at 8 levels, but then they give you an opportunity to, after you get that 8 levels, start again from the bottom up in a new new name.
Right, but here's the 300. People are doing that right now. It's a paradigm shift to understand, first of all, that after 5,000 years or 6,000 years, only 1% of the population of the earth owns physical gold. That's crazy that you can think about those numbers. Right? So the market share in doing so is unlimited. It's unlimited because we actually in a time where everybody is seeking to find somewhere to place their paper currency that's going to appreciate in value.
So the gold reserves in the United States and Russia and China and Korea and other major corporations, that only equates to 1%?
No. Listen to what I'm saying. Be careful. What I'm saying. Let me just be precise on what I'm saying. Only 1% of the world's population, not country, 1% of the world's population owns physical gold.
Okay, 1% of individuals.
Right. Right. 7 billion people on Earth own physical gold, and most people don't understand the significance of saving gold as opposed to saving paper. Class or life lesson in all of this, because it's a part of it. So the gold is a part of the company. Cryptocurrency is a part of the company. The benefit of the tax revenue code of owning a home-based business is part of the company. Having an international outreach or international platform to make money anywhere in the world from the comfort of your home is part of the business. Having an international payment with a cell phone and internet access and take part in for free. You can't beat that.
So, after you actually accumulated all of these carrot bars, and now you've gotten a substantial amount of currency that you want to now change into another asset, how do you redeem your value in the carrot bar?
Okay, great question. So, because gold is money, it is worldwide cash equivalent. So no matter what cash, what denomination, or what country, they will accept gold at the current flat price, not what you paid for.
Well, that's true. But I understand that, and that's true. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
So what I'm saying to you is, I give you a perfect example. My children started saving gold in 2017, right? At $1,150 an ounce, right? Now gold is $1,750 an ounce. So my children, I taught them the importance of saving an asset that will continue to appreciate throughout time without them doing anything to earn that appreciation. All you're doing is saving assets. Now, when you're ready to redeem that, if you have the need, let me be clear, if you have the need for cash because you're strapped, then you can take that asset and go to any of our business partners that will buy it at flat price, or any viable companies don't, or should I say exchange it. You can exchange your physical gold on our platform for other assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, other cryptocurrency. No other asset, no other exchange can do that. Or you can exchange a digital gold online for another digital asset. That's part of the company as well. So these things are something that our community really need to understand, because we're heading into a digital age. In China, New Zealand, and a few other countries around the world are leading in this paradigm shift, and because our government is still equipped, they are not focusing, or they're not being honest about the benefits of it. Although they have enlisted, here's the funny part. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let you guys make anything to ask questions. The funny thing is, they have people believing Bitcoin is a scam, but the United States government has Bitcoin listed as an asset that's active. How is that true? How can it both be the same? How can it be a scam, but
I've done a tremendous amount of reading on Bitcoin, and I don't believe that it is a scam. You see, some very reputable, notable people, as well as organizations investing, right? So I don't think that it is a scam. I've also, hold on, Venton, are you there?
Yes, sorry.
Oh, yeah. I don't believe it's a scam. I also, like I said a couple weeks ago, developed a better understanding of Carrot Bars, and I forgot the gentleman's name who you had calling on the show, outlined the two opportunities that exist, right? One is if you simply want to save gold, so you want to be part of that 1% of people on the planet who actually own physical gold. And here's an affordable way for you to be able to do it, right? But then on the other side, if you're interested in taking advantage of starting a business through which you can have tax write-offs, then you have this other side of Carrot Bars that you can be involved in. So I understand that a little bit better. What were you going to say, Vincent?
Okay, yeah, I was looking at that, and they Wall Street Journal 2014 had a story called the Anatomy of a Ponzi Scheme, in which they talked about Harold Seas, Joseph Haidt, Alex Bolden, and Oduwu Tomo. Extraordinary blockchain to ensure safe gold for people as investment vehicles. Created the brand new currency that they call Carrot Gold Coin, or KBC for short. Originally called Carrot Bank Coin, which they had to change the name in 2006, reached its peak in 2018, and the CEO reaffirmed in a personal message, we need a better world, and he's building this up, the Carrot Coin, to do it. But ran into a huge problem in 2019 where a group of people have invested a sizable amount of money but could not redeem it through any of the international outlets.
Okay, so let me just be clear. You know, Bitcoin is still being considered a scam.
Hey, Andre, your phone is breaking up a little bit.
You're breaking up a lot.
I said that Bitcoin, and this is the reason I say what I'm saying to you. It took 9 years before the banking industry realized the benefit of blockchain with Bitcoin. 9 years. Carrot Gold is 3 years old, 2.5 to be exact. They don't understand the correlation of gold to cryptocurrency, but the world will soon understand when a lot of these countries who have also approved Carrot Bars in their country. As a matter of fact, we're legally doing business in 148 countries. That's over 2/3 of the world. If these leaders agree to allow Carrot Bars to do business in their country, you don't have to worry about the opinion of someone who is not informed.
So let me ask you a question. I want to ask you a question.
Answer my question.
So when you say allowing to do business, so if I'm involved in Carrot Bars, or I'm saving gold, right? So I've actually purchased gold. On that card is a sliver of gold, right? A gram or whatever it is, whatever the weight of that is.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So nobody's allowing me, right? I can actually, whatever I paid for that on an open market, I can sell it. Correct?
Exactly.
No.
How could you say no? How could you say no when I...
Okay, I'll tell you what. Why don't we meet? Because, New Jersey had opened up some stores. So if you would meet me with maybe, $2,000 worth of Carrot cards or Carrot Bar coins, we'll meet at the auto dealership. And if they will let you exchange it, I'll buy you a car.
No. So stop for 1 second. But if I had a gold bar, could I go to that same auto dealership and exchange it?
And of course not.
Right. So it's not about Carrot Bars, right? It is about the fact that they don't see it as a currency. Hold on. Let's see if we can take this call. Hello, caller?
Yeah, I dropped the call. I'm in the mountains there. I'm sorry.
Are not giving people their money for it. That's the big reason why he had to say that these other companies are not letting them or declaring Carrot Bar as actual currency.
Well, wait a minute. No, I don't know. Well, I want to. That's what I was trying to get clarification on. So if I have hold on 1 second. Hello, caller.
Yes, Eric. I'm mountains. I'm coming out of West Orange. My phone's off the call.
All right. Well, then call me when you're clear, because I got to keep interrupting you.
Clear it out.
Okay.
I wanted to answer.
Hello, caller. Hello.
All for that matter. I'm just my cash for gold. What's up? Okay.
So, Andre, are you still there? Andre?
Well, I'm here.
Okay, I don't know where Andre went. Okay, one more time, and then I can't take. Andre. Hello?
No, this is Farrakhan.
Oh, hold on, Farrakhan.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know. Andre's phone's going in and out. So, what? And I don't want to go down this big rabbit hole again. I finally got to understand it, and I think that what you asked, Vincent, isn't true with either whether I had a Carrot Bar card or I had a bar of gold. I can't go in and exchange that for a car. But what I can do is I go to the...
Hold up, Eric. Right there. I think that would depend of. I mean, it's not a standard practice in America.
Right.
But I think that would depend on who you were buying it from.
Well, right. That's why I said I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. Right, but
I just want to say it in this manner because it's a difference in whether or not we're going to question carrot bars or question gold investing. And see, that seems to be the fight that keeps happening. In the end, where Vincent's position is, I don't trust carrot bars, and I can respect that. Yeah, that's your choice. But if we're talking again about financial literacy, then we're talking about gold investing.
Correct.
Gold investing, and there are different manners in which you can do it. Right? You can purchase physical gold. You can purchase ETFs. You can do stock trading.
Right.
However you choose. But as financial method of security and investment, gold is a good idea. That's it. Now,
Right.
if you want to talk about how you get your gold,
That's absolutely
a
right.
different
And that's where we get. That's where the sticking the sticking point is, right? How you get it. But what I want to be clear on, and I don't know why Andre's phone call kept dropping, but please call back when you're in a clear place. But what I want to be clear on is this. I'm gonna take this call one more. Andre.
Yes, I'm sorry.
All right, are you in a clear place? Because when I do this, it disrupts the show.
All right, I'm in Newark.
All right. Okay. So because every time I do this, it disrupts the show. So I just want to be clear about this one thing, because this seems to be where the sticking point is. Is there anything illegitimate about that gold that is old?
No, it's physical,
Got it.
99.9 pure gold.
Okay, so if it is physical gold, right, and can be treated like any other gold, then you can sell it.
Of course.
Right. So I got that on the investment side, on the saving side, and on the entrepreneur side of being involved in carrot bars.
Eric, just for
Now, if I could. Now, Carrot Bar, the actual German group, August 24th, 2019, is now under the former ICO and partner,
For what,
Steinberg, is accused of $12 million in fraud from people who have been trying to redeem their Carrot Bar gold and turn it back into liquid assets.
Wait a minute. So let's pause there. Is that what's happening, Andre?
No. Because
Vincent.
Wait, listen.
Yeah.
Let's be
Wait,
clear.
Vincent.
Are you talking about physical gold, Vincent, or are you talking about digital KBC coins? What are you
I'm
talking
talking about Carrot Bar. in which they have the picture of Harold Stein, the CEO.
Hey, Vince, I've read some articles also. I think what they're specifically talking about is the KBC. Okay, I don't think that's
KBC, Karat Bar Coin.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what there has been some issue with trading that and how you convert that. But if you're talking, but if you're talking about their gold, there's when you make this statement, you made it as if Karat Bar's gold was no good, and then nobody could get that.
No. What I'm stating is this: the Karat Bar card, which contains the sliver of gold, it is worthless to people to the tune of $12 million.
Wait a minute, but that's not what we're saying, right? So wait a minute. Let me ask a question. More clarity. What is KBG and what is the Karat Bar card?
Okay, so let me explain this. Paracon was 100% correct. The difference between someone who Googles information
No, I just asked you a simple question. I don't need the background. I don't need the background. I'm just asking you a simple question. What is it? Wait a minute. Go ahead.
Okay, listen there. KBC is a digital currency, a token that's used online like Bitcoin.
Okay.
Right? It's a token. It's used as a utility coin. What he's talking about is not, he's talking about the physical gold, but anybody who understands what physical gold is, which is 99.9 pure gold, you can sell that anywhere.
Wait a minute. So the issue is this coin, whatever it is, that it's not universal like gold is, right? So
that's
gold.
what the article is saying, but that's not true, because I can change my KBC right now for Bitcoin. I can change it back to physical gold. I can change it for Ethereum. And see, these are the things where people who don't understand cryptocurrency or blockchain technology,
but what we're talking about right now is so we just went off to talk about something completely different, right? Because we were talking about gold, saving gold. Now we're talking about coins. Right.
But that's what Vincent brought up.
Right, and I want to stay on the gold. That's all I want to do.
Stay on the gold, then.
I want to stay on the gold. Right. So so Vincent, are you suggesting that the gold that's on the card is not gold?
No, that's not what I'm suggesting.
Got it. So if I go and purchase gold from Karat Bars, and I get that gram of gold, I get a card that has that sliver on it that has a gram of gold.
He's saying you're supposed to have 99.9% pure gold.
Okay. Right. Is there anything that says different about that card? I'm not talking about coins and other kinds of things. I'm talking about if I am trying to save gold. I'm trying to purchase and save gold. And I'm looking, instead of going, because I don't have the money to go buy a big bar of gold, right? And I see that I got $50 or $100, whatever that sliver of gold.
So you don't have the money for a troy ounce or a gram.
Right, whatever it is, right? So yeah, I'm not literate on what the weights are. So I got $100, and somebody says I can take my $100 and I can get mailed to me. Is there a suggestion that that's not real gold?
There has not been anyone that actually could prove the legitimacy or disprove the legitimacy or quality of the gold. So, as far as everybody knows, embedded in those cards is 99.999% gold.
Okay, so just on that. Because I don't know about the coins, and I got a friend of mine who invests in Bitcoins and all that kind of stuff. I don't understand that. I'm still trying to learn that. I'm a neophyte there too. But on the gold piece alone, saving, investing.
So let me ask you a question. Listen, can you do me a favor? today, at any time, you or Eric, give me the address of a gold dealer in New Jersey, in Newark, East Orange. Give me one, and I'm going to take the Carabar's gold to your jeweler, the one that you find. You tell me the address. I'm going to take my Carabar's gold there. Let them test it to give you the purity. You give me the name and address, and I'll take my gold there.
Again,
That's how you thought. That's how you thought that.
Again, there's no need for the redundancy because previously we stated that there was no debate on the legitimacy, or quality of the gold in the Carabar card.
That's what I'm saying.
Again,
So we've agreed to that.
Now, again, that leads us to the next point. The entire issue with Carabar is this. As you accumulate these gold cards and this amount of gold weight embedded in the cards, and you try to redeem them, that's where you run into your problem. In fact, to the tone of as we spoke.
And what I'm trying to understand is this.
Wait, one question, Eric. Andre, I have a question. You doing carat golds, do carat bars, and Bitcoins? Is that it?
Yes. Yes.
Which one would you prefer over the other? Are they equivalent? Not in
Great question.
gold on site? Mm-hmm.
That's a great question, Diane. The difference between the two is Bitcoin is the world's first cryptocurrency. Bitcoin has appreciated over 600,000% since 2009. It is the number one cryptocurrency in the world and the number 8 currency in the world, okay? KBC is a digital currency, too, that's connected to the physical gold, right, that we use in our ecosystem for the products and services that we have, like the phone, the ATM, and the other things. We can exchange Bitcoin for our KBC and KBC for Bitcoin on our exchange. You can do it on Yobit. You can do it on a few other exchanges as well. But the one thing you can do on our exchange that Carabar owns that you can't do on any other exchange is exchange Bitcoin for physical gold and back again.
Well, okay. Now there's a difference between but there's a difference between Bitcoin and Carabar coin or KBC.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
But if I can
correct. Now, hold on, please. Can I finish? Now, is KBC or Carabar coin registered internationally as a legitimate currency like Bitcoin?
Bitcoin, no. That's because Bitcoin is new.
You.
Bitcoin is, listen. Here's what you don't understand.
No, Andre, don't say anything right there. I don't believe Bitcoin is registered as a currency. It is registered as a cryptocurrency. It is not. You don't register the currency. A country registers their currency. Bitcoin is not registered as a currency. It is a cryptocurrency that individuals throughout the world use as a currency. Correct. Now, again, is Carabar? Hold on. Carabar coin. Let me finish. I'm going to answer it. Okay. Let me finish. So to the very same point that Bitcoin is used as a currency for people who believe in Bitcoin. KBC apparently is used as a currency for people who believe in KBC. That's it. So in other words, I'm not questioning. Listen, you always got to play the play. I'm not going to question whether or not KBC is a good investment or not. I'm not going to do that. I'll let Andre Amir represent that. But and explain that whether or not it's worthwhile to get or not to get. But what I'm saying is, right now, the tear down that keeps happening, that keeps this whole conversation to flourishing, to helping black people get wealthy. Do your research before you put your money in. Right? And if a person chooses to do their research and likes it, fine. Right? We can stop having that debate. Let's get to the next stage of financial literacy. Because we've been on this
right.
one.
No, but you know what, though, Farrakhan? Can I tell you something? I am learning a tremendous amount. Like, when we get beyond the talking over each other.
Right. We got to get beyond it.
Right. So, see if it works for me. So, if we're looking for universality in any of these cryptocurrencies, which was the question, right? Is it broadly recognized? It seems to me that it's recognized within whatever community of people recognize it, right? And then that's it.
And that's all. And that's all that matters, right? As long as there's a guy who is in that community that respects it and that wants it, guess what? I can unload it to him, and that just goes back and forth, right? Yeah. So but that's with that understood. That's it, and no, that's not a Ponzi scheme. If that's what you're about.
No. That's what your definition is called is the P.T. Barnum theory.
I don't understand that.
P.T. Barnum, Barnum.
No, I know who P.T. Barnum is.
Well, the P.T. Barnum theory is that they say, well, how is this going to make money? And he said, well, there's a sucker born every minute.
Well, look.
No,
I don't know that Bitcoin involves suckers, right?
No, not Bitcoin, but Carrot Bar coin, because it's only recognized in that Carrot Bar community.
Do you know how much money has been lost that disappears from Bitcoin? Do you remember something called Mt. Gox? See, I've been dealing with Bitcoin for quite a few years, okay? Mt. Gox was an exchange. On the Mt. Gox exchange, you had a couple of $1 billion in value of Bitcoin. And one day, it disappeared because the guy that owned it or that controlled more Bitcoin on other exchanges. There's always going to be a crook, right, who finds the sucker or finds a way to get around something, right? So that happens. Agreed. That's what has been the instability of a Bitcoin, because people didn't know, well, how do you pull your money out? When should I pull my money out? How should I save it? How should I store it? What kind of wallet? And so forth. That happened. However, now in this baby stage of KBC, I'm sure there's going to be some issues. But to say that the principle of the company that it's under, right? And every corporation has had failed projects, right? Failed things that did not work, that people put money in and people invest in, and they lost their money. That may happen with KBC and Carrot Bars, their company. Maybe it will be a project that will reinvent itself and work. But I remember when the little thing that you play the music with, the iPlayer, right? Whatever.
iPod.
No, not the thing you hear. Like, the original. Before you had an iPhone, you had an Zoom, right? To compete against it, right? You ain't heard of a Zoom in like 10 years, right? But the Zoom had the AM, FM also included, right? So you could do all the kind of, stuff that you did on the iPod, but then you also could play live music from your radio station. It failed, right? There are plenty of people that invested in Microsoft thinking that, this might be the next big thing, and it fails. Right, so they don't make no money out of that. So those things happen. I don't know what's going to happen with KBC. But again, if you're looking for gold and you can't buy large sums of it, Carrot Bars is a option. That's okay. All that needs to be said and understood. In terms of financial literacy, let me finish. In terms of financial literacy. Okay, and to Eric. Now, if I said this to you, if I came to you and said, "Hey, Eric, I want $2,000 worth of Grandma Emma's, and I got a piece of gold, an ounce of gold, or whatever, right? And you knew it, confirmed it. This is 100% gold. Your jeweler did it, whatever. You telling me you wouldn't take that gold?
Oh no, I would absolutely take it.
Okay, so when people say get in the car, it depends on the person.
Oh no,
it depends on the understanding.
No,
I'm not saying you were.
No.
What was that? If I came with $2,000 worth of gold, now maybe the salesman couldn't do it, right? But maybe the salesman could walk over to the owner and say, "Hey, man, I got a guy that wants to buy that car right there that's been sitting."
Then why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do this?
I know you can get $2,000 worth of haircuts from me if you put pure gold.
Okay, now why don't we do this? Because we can put it into this relatively quickly. Now, here's my theory and my belief. My belief is that the Carrot Bar, the little sliver of gold, you will have some extreme difficulties when trying to redeem your sliver of gold.
Why?
Because it has to. Why? Because it has to go through the Carrot Bar group, who happens to not be doing.
Wait.
So Vincent, if you think
Wait a minute, Diane, please.
Can I finish?
No,
please?
no. But I want to ask the question. But I want to ask.
Why don't we do this? Let's take. He's got it right there. I'll give him $50 for the card, and if he can redeem it through his system and give me my $50 back, we'll videotape it and post it on your show. With that, you have to defer to Amir. He's done that, so you have to defer to Amir for that.
Vincent.
That's what I said. Let's do it.
All right, I'm gonna.
He's already done that. I believe. Right? He buys it constantly.
Wait a minute.
Listen, if
No,
your
I got
only
one.
motive is to prove somebody wrong, then maybe Carrot Bar is not for you, and you should just remove yourself from the conversation then.
Right. So here's the question I want to ask, because you made a statement, Vincent, and I just like to get it clear. And I think I asked this earlier. If wherever I would go, if I had a gold bar, wherever I would go to exchange that gold bar, that bar of gold, right, for U.S. currency, if I had a card with this sliver of gold, could I take that card to the same place and exchange it for currency? Can I not?
Answer him. Go ahead. Answer him, Amir. Tell him. I don't think Amir's on.
Okay.
Oh, God. See?
So
that was my whole point.
I'm right here, bro. I'm right here.
Wait a minute. So,
okay, 1 second. I'm right here. Ask me the question. I was being quiet because I wanted you guys to go ahead and dialogue. But what is the specific question I can answer for you?
So my question is this: can I wherever if I had a gold bar, right, and I decided that I wanted to take that gold bar and exchange it for U.S. currency, where would I go to take the gold bar?
Any gold dealer in the U.S.
Got
any
it.
Gold dealer.
Okay, got it. Now, could I take the Carrot Bar card to that same dealer and exchange it for U.S. currency?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, then let's set up a meeting.
Wait a minute, I don't know that we need to set up a meeting. Are you suggesting, because this is what I'm getting at, are you then suggesting, Vincent, that the gold on the card is not real gold? Because if it's real gold, then why couldn't I take it to a gold dealer? Why wouldn't I be able to do that?
Okay. I have no idea why people can't do it. Because Carrot Bar testing, you had 6 different waters when you were for the alkaline water. Yep. You need to go and make that same video for your Carrot Bars. You need to walk into a jeweler dealer with your Carrot Bars, and that's it. Do that, and that should end that. Let's see what happens.
See, because I guess because
we get to more diverse conversations about financial literacy.
Right.
I'm begging this Wednesdays to do this.
Wait a minute. But
Farrakhan, I agree with you 100%.
No, I don't agree. It's a real simple question.
Start making a difference in our financial lives by actually doing it.
Look, it's a real simple question, and I think that I keep going back because, Vincent, you make statements, and I'm trying to understand the legitimacy of the statement that you make. So I ask a question, and I think that we progress, and then statements are made where I take a step back to try to get clarification. If gold is gold, I could take it anywhere that I could take any other gold and exchange it. And so if you're telling me that I can't take that, then what you're then saying is it's not gold. But when I ask you if you thought that the gold on the card was actual gold, you said yes, it was. So if you were a gold dealer, Vincent,
I just called a gold dealer.
No, I'm asking you, if you were a gold dealer, and I brought you a sliver of gold, you wouldn't value that as a sliver of gold? Why?
No.
Why?
Well, let's see, because, and this is, okay, why, okay, now, if you brought me a slither of gold, raw, okay, and I was a gold dealer, I would check the purity and exchange the weight based upon that.
Right.
Now, call up any gold dealer and ask them that would they exchange the currency and weight of gold for what's in a Carrot Bar, and see what answer you get. In fact, we'll even set one up for next week on the radio show.
But I'm asking you a very simple question. If the thing is a gram of gold, there's a value to a gram of gold, correct? There's a value to
allegedly, yes.
Allegedly.
Yes,
No,
because-
wait. A gram of gold does not have value?
No, a gram of gold does have
Got
value.
it. Okay, stop there. So if a gram of gold has value, does it matter whether or not it's embedded in a card that has carat bars across it, or if it's embedded in this ink pen that I have? If the gram of gold has value, and we determine that it is in fact a gram of gold, then why does it matter that it's embedded in a card that's labeled carat bars or in my ink pen? Why does that matter?
Well, you see, if I was a layman or a novice in understanding the actual gold trade, you would be absolutely perfectly correct. Now, dealing with some people who do that and do it professionally. Okay, what he explained to me is like it's the equivalent of you getting a Canadian coin and trying to spin it in America.
Wait, that doesn't make sense to me. So
Okay.
So no.
So-
But I could take the wait a minute. I could take the Canadian coin, take it to an exchange place, and get U.S. currency, and then spin that.
Correct.
Right. So I'm not
But
taking.
you cannot take it.
Go ahead.
Hold on. And the same thing for the carat bar gold.
What?
It is only exchange.
Wait a minute. Listen, I want to ask you a
Okay.
question. Stay with me
Go
for
ahead.
one more second, and then I want to move
Okay.
on.
Okay. Go ahead.
Gold is gold. Why is it carat bar gold? What makes it different from regular gold? Because you're
Okay.
labeling it carat bar gold.
Yes. and
Why
that's
is
what they
it
call-
different? Why is that sliver of gold different than if it weren't in that card?
Because the sliver of gold versus the sliver of gold in the carat bar card, the sliver of gold in the carat bar card is not internationally or nationally recognized through any
As gold?
exchange.
As gold.
No, please, guys, can you let me finish?
Yeah.
No,
go ahead.
what you're trying to
Please.
say is what he's selling is not real gold.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that whatever is in there, the international and national exchanges do not recognize it.
So let me ask you a question. I want to ask another question. So if I were to pry that sliver of gold off of that card, so you didn't know that it was ever on a carat bar card, and then I came into your dealer, your gold dealer, and I just had this sliver of gold that wasn't attached to any card, what would you do?
Well, I don't know because I'm not a gold dealer, and you're
But you-
asking me questions that I cannot give
But you said
an
you-
actual true answer. Now, but what I did was
gave that answer.
I gave that answer based upon talking to a dealer, and he explained to me what it was.
Right. So
Now,
I agree with
carat
Diane.
bar-
So
hold
at
on,
the end, look,
the
and then we can
carat
move
bar
on.
exchanging is
Right.
only through carat bar groups.
Right. So
And if they choose not to give you cash for your bar, you're screwed. Which is why they got.
that's what
No,
you're
that's
saying.
not-
You could go anywhere with it.
No,
For gold.
no, that's not what he said, and that's not what I'm going to repeat, and that's not what I want you to interpret. What I want you to interpret is this: the gold in the carat bar, and that card is only redeemable with the carat bar group.
Okay. So I
Gold
want to.
inside the card is not real gold.
That's what you're
No,
saying.
that's not what I said. For the
No.
third time,
I'm not saying that that's what you that's what's coming out of your mouth, right? I hear what's coming out of your mouth, but the interpretation is that if I've got a carat bar card with a sliver of gold on it, that gold is not as universal as a gold bar that I have. That's what you're
Correct.
saying, right? Which
Correct.
means it does not have the same value, right? Universally doesn't have the same value. So if it doesn't have the same value, then it's not the same gold, which is what Diane is saying.
That means
No.
it's real gold because that doesn't make sense. It's the same as if you melted down your gold and went to a jewelry party or took it to the pawn shop. If it's gold, it is gold.
Then I suggest
not 99.5% gold.
Yeah.
Then I suggest you take those slivers out, melt them down, and then take them to a jeweler.
Right.
Because going through the outlets of the Karatbar Group, like he said, is the equivalent of having a Canadian coin. If you're not in the exchange place in the United States, then that Canadian coin has no value in any store in the United States. Right. It only has universal value when it's in Canada.
So what I'm gonna do is this.
Andre,
I haven't spoken to your gold person. It doesn't make sense to me what that person said. I'm just gonna say that it doesn't make sense to me. All of what I've heard. So I've gotten, maybe Farrakhan thinks this thing is going around in circles, but I have learned a tremendous amount, right? I literally have. And Amir can tell you, because I started off with Amir sitting at my dining room table going, I don't understand this. It doesn't make sense. I think I completely understand it now. And in my understanding of it, and what I'll do, because I also have some jewelry guys, I gotta call them when we're done with the show, and I'm gonna have the but I'm almost expecting them to say gold is gold. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whether you have it affixed to a card, whether you have it embedded in this coffee mug, whether it's a coin.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you should go to the actual National Gold Exchange. The huge people. Don't even go to the local guys. Go to the big guys who know all the laws and ask them if they can exchange that Karatbar, the gold in the Karatbar for currency. And that'll settle everything.
There's your problem right there. The word exchange, right? See, words matter. And what you're saying is, when you use the word exchange, there are going to be some technical arguments about that. That's not the question. If the gold is real gold, someone will accept it if they are willing to do what is necessary. Now you have to get that gold off of the ball, off of the money, right? Or you have to get that gold off of the card that they use. I don't know the techniques that they use. I don't know if that's an easy or difficult thing. That could be the only reason why I would understand a jeweler would not accept 24 karat gold from Karatbars. If they said,
or get it off the card, or if it actually registers, the weight registers to the amount in which they're redeeming it for.
Right, so that's
we're going by the given. We're going by the given of that. Right?
Exactly.
We're going by the given that the weight is the weight.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to argue that the weight isn't the weight.
Right.
We're going to argue that an ounce of Karatbars gold is an ounce of gold. If we're going to argue that, the only reason that I can hear from what you're saying is that a jeweler says, I don't know how to get it off of the card, so I'm not going to get it. That can be the only reason.
Then therefore, since we're all here have a level of intelligence, then why don't we put it to the test after the show, contact some exchange people, and get the answer yourself?
I don't want to contact. If you're going to do it, it has to be live in person. Because I want that person to see that goal and to say, nah, I'm walking away from it.
Okay, I'd love to do that too.
And
I would love to do that.
Okay. The reason I'm saying it's got to be in person is because if you're dealing with a businessman over the phone on an issue like this, he might not even truly understand what Karatbars is. So he's just going to walk away from it. But if you come in there and you say, hello, sir, I have these which I have purchased, which is supposed to be 24 karat gold at a weight of such and such. Can you test it? And if you test it, would you like to purchase it at spot price?
And that's what we'll do. I'll tell you what. We will set it up for next Wednesday. We'll go to the gold exchange. He brings the Karatbar gold. I'll bring the cameras, and we can get the answer. And we can stop all this back and forth.
I think at the end of the day, So here's what I think is going to happen, Vincent. I think you're going to have egg on your face, because I think that they're going to identify it as real gold, which is the issue. Right? Where there's gold.
Let me finish. The issue is that is it recognized in exchange through his exchange,
but
or
wait a minute,
is it only recognized in exchange through Karatbar?
But wait a minute. But if it's real gold, it is real gold. Right.
Okay.
So that to me is the only issue. Is am I holding gold or am I holding counterfeit? If it's gold, it's gold.
Well, with the last 4 minutes, Andre, could you give me 2 minutes how we get the carrot balls, how we get in touch with you?
And 628, that's my direct number. The website to register for your free account is www.kingofcurrency.net. That's www.kingofcurrency, K-I-N-G, of currency.net. So let me just, in closing, say this, Diane. So there's certain things that is not readily understood about gold, and I just want to clarify this, and then we can close. Okay, gold is an international commodity that's accepted as money. It's the number one currency in the world. Number one, there is no way that Karatbars can do business for 11 years in 140 countries selling fake gold. That's common sense. There is no way that 148 countries, right, the leaders of these countries will allow Karatbars to sell gold to gold. Wait, Vincent, if it's pure gold, it's common sense that it's cash equivalent, and you therefore can change it for any currency in the world, the euro, the yen, the dollar, the pound, anything. That's common sense if we understand that it's pure. My only thing is I want our people, before the end of the dollar collapse, to start actively trading our declining paper currency for an appreciating asset, either gold, silver, or cryptocurrency, because those three assets are decentralized and not controlled by a bank, a government, or a private company issue.
Got it. So thank you, Andre. So what I'll say is this: I'm not endorsing Karatbars. I do understand it. I think now I do believe, based on reading that I've done before and after each of these shows, that if you can save gold, that you should. The manner in which you go do it, as Farrakhan said, whether you choose to go the Karatbar route or if you got enough money to go buy one of those big, bars that you see on TV all the time. If you can save it, then save it. There's no harm in saving gold, right?
That's what investments is, diversifying, not doing everything, but doing a little bit of something.
Right. But I'm not endorsing Karatbars. I'm saying save gold. If you can, as one of many things, right, that you should consider.
The book, 1159.
The book, Diane. What is it?
Got that fast.
I did, and I'm Oh no. When affirmative action was white,
because all of the stress that came with it. The book is.
I just said it. When affirmative action was white.
It was white.
Damn it. When it was white, damn it. No. I'm gonna tell you where you can go. Go to Kindle, right, and you can get the audio version. I think I paid $7 for the audio version.
Okay, cool.
Right? Yeah, because I'm going out in my garden, man. I'll have my earbuds in, listening to it while I'm gardening, and holding my shotgun. All right, guys, listen.
Farmer Eric.
Thank you all for tuning in. Look, as chaotic as these episodes on Wednesday seem, for me, I'm getting information from them, and I'm one step closer to going and buying some gold. Where I'm going to buy it from, I don't know. But I'm one step closer to buying some gold. Have a great day, guys. Stay hydrated. I'll see you tomorrow.
Please check on your elderly with all this heat and humidity. Be safe. Please wash your hands. Wear your mask when you're out, even though they're releasing the state. And if it's God's will, tomorrow we'll be back to share some more information with you. God bless everyone.